What is up, guys? My name is Darren Jackson. Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you're feeling great. And last Monday I released a video about the Torchlight and Metamaterials arrangement and how we were supposed to be anticipating some big news on April 30th. And just like a lot of you guys, I spent that Friday looking through social media trying to find any news about what they were supposed to announce. And of course we got nothing, and the stock price responded. So that kind of sucked. But on Monday, they released some updated news. So on this video, we're gonna go over what news they actually presented us with and all the additional information they gave us and kind of form a timeline of events that should be happening before, during, and after this event, and why I feel like they're really significant to investors of Metamaterial and especially investors of Torchlight. So let's get started. So kind of taking it back to last Monday's video, Torchlight announced that they would be making an announcement about the shareholders meeting by Friday on April 30th. Mind you guys, it's not when the actual meeting was supposed to take place, it's simply the deadline that they have to tell us as shareholders when the meeting will take place. So it would have taken place from potentially that day, but at least from that Monday on to some certain period of time. Now, the reason it seems like why they actually pushed that date back and why Metamaterial approved of that pushback is because that they want to give the SEC or the Securities and Exchange Commission enough time to read and verify their preliminary proxy statement. Now, in the previous video, I went over what a proxy statement is, but just to briefly reiterate what it is, it's information that a company is authorized to provide to the SEC before a major meeting is announced. That information can include things such as the board of directors, including movement that they may have, promotions, demotions, and their compensation. Basically, any information that could be used and provided to us as shareholders when we're approaching a vote. And that's what the shareholder meeting is all about. It's essentially us taking all this information provided by the SEC, provided by Torchlight, and determining if we're for or against this arrangement between Torchlight and Metamaterial. And based off all the YouTube videos that have been out about Torchlight and a lot of other particular news with it, I'm assuming we're all gonna be for it. So that shareholder meeting announcement will be moved from April 30th to May 10th, which is 4 days from when this video comes out. So hopefully by May 10th, we would know when the meeting will take place. Now, of course, obviously the question is, when should the meeting take place by? So we know we're gonna get the announcement on May 10th, but the deadline for the actual meeting to actually take place is June 11th. So that means we have from May 11th to June 11th for this meeting to actually take place. And just assuming that this arrangement between Torchlight and Metamaterials will be approved by us as shareholders on June 11th, the anticipated arrangement date will be 7 days later on June 18th. So by June 18th, anyone that's an investor in Torchlight or Metamaterial will come together, wake up, check their portfolios, and see that they're a holder of Metamaterials. So yay. Hopefully we keep it at that date, but we'll see what happens. Now, just as important as those particular dates, it's information that's happening in between those particular dates. Some of it might be more important and maybe even more exciting. And that starts with the definitive proxy statement. Now, the definitive proxy statement should be provided to the SEC from Torchlight before the actual meeting takes place by June 11th. And that proxy statement is going to be similar to the preliminary, except it could include some additional information, potentially this big dividend amount. Now, if you're new to the whole role of dividends when it comes to this arrangement, it's pretty interesting, but Torchlight is a explorer, exploiter, and developer of oil and gas properties. So they own or partially own land that could contain oil, and they have equipment and tools needed to provide that oil. All that has a specific asset, and once they sell those things, we get a percentage of those assets in the form of a Class A preferred stock dividend. At this point, we have no idea what the amount is. There's a lot of theories of what it could be, some pretty outlandish and some super hopeful, but we don't know that yet. So by then, or specifically by the shareholder meeting on June 11th, if they actually sold their assets or even gotten an offer for a specific amount, that offer makes its way out to headlining news, then we could potentially get information on this definitive proxy statement of what that dividend will be like. But ultimately, I doubt it's gonna be that quick, so we'll just have to see what happens. But speaking of the actual timeline of seeing what happens, the other important information is the record date. Now, the record date is a date that a lot of us, pretty much all of us that are investing into Torchlight, are waiting to hear. The record date will essentially tell us what is the deadline that us as investors have to invest into Torchlight to be qualified for whatever this dividend amount is per share. This record date should be given out to us right after the shareholder meeting, potentially at the middle or the end, but it's announced that it'll be given to us after. So at this point, we have no idea what the record date is or what our qualifications are as investors to qualify for this dividend. But if I had to guess, and especially considering that Torchlight may want to make more money out of this before the actual arrangement takes place, my guess is that the record date is going to take place the day before the actual arrangement takes place, which would be June 17th. It also could be the actual date the record date takes place, which would be pretty terrible, or maybe a couple of days after that, in between the shareholders meeting and the actual arrangement itself. But I'm really leaning more towards the day before the arrangement, or maybe even the day of. But I think that would be a great idea, because as this news comes out, the price is going to go up. As soon as May 10th comes out and we actually get news of when the arrangement will be, the price is going to go up. And I feel like the closer it is to May 10th, the higher the price goes up. Once the shareholder meeting takes place and it gets approved like we all believe it will be, the price should go up even more. And hopefully by then we know a little bit more about the dividend and who qualifies for it. The price should go up even more. So if they give us as shareholders enough time to buy in as new investors or buy more as returning investors, which means they could have the record date be between June 17th and 18th, then I really feel like it gives an opportunity for us as Torchlight investors to just blow the price up before the merger actually happens. But again, I don't know, I'm not on the board of directors, I'm just some regular YouTuber on a small YouTube channel just saying what he thinks, but I could be completely wrong. But speaking of that, let me know what you guys think. When do you guys think this whole record date's gonna take place? Overall, what do you guys think about this updated news? It's not a lot of big news, but I feel like they did give us some extra information to where we can create this timeline of events and how significant they are to us as investors. Are you guys still holding Torchlight or Metamaterials, or are you guys selling Torchlight or Metamaterials? Let me know what you guys think. Now, if you happen to be pretty new to this whole situation with this merger or this arrangement, why people are making so many videos, including myself, I'll leave a couple of videos over to the side, so make sure you check those out, and I'll also leave them on the links below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I do appreciate you guys watching it. And until next time, take care.